Okay, so here we go. We're looking at my buddy's escape. You can see I did a little bit of grinding or sanding down here to see what's going on. If we look underneath, we can see that the lip is gone from here clear down to here. So that means we're going to have to rebuild some inner wheel well along with replacing this outer structure. The other side isn't much better, so haven't started on that one yet. We're coming around and have a look-see here. On this side, the lip is also gone, but from here to here only. So we still have good structure down here and over here. And it doesn't look like it goes above this body line right here. So we should be good to replace this one right here. And the other one will be a little bit bigger. So we're going to get at disassembling. Take this back bumper off and stuff. And we'll get back to you. Okay, we're back here with the escape. We've cut off the outer layer. And you can see that the sealant that Ford put in there drew the water right through this whole seam and ate out the inner wheel well also. So we're going to have to replace some of that too. But that's not a big deal because we can just cut a flat panel and put it in there. That should work out real nicely. So we will cut this out and I will show that to you here in a little bit. Okay, so we've cut our piece to fit in here to replace what we cut out of there. So we're going to be making it out of our flat panel. Our flat panel stock. It's just 18 gauge steel, like using 18 gauge steel. But in order to put that in place, we're making these pieces that will glue in here like this, right up under that flange, like that. And this piece here will go in right there underneath it, and that'll give us something to glue the new panel to. Then once we have that new panel in there, then we'll make a piece for this flange here to go down across under there. So, we're making progress. She can come back when we get it all together. And we're back with the escape. Now, we've got our pieces laid out right here, ready to go in. But I want to show you what we're going to use. We went down to Walmart. We picked up some of this. Get the glare off there for you. JB Weld Body Panel Adhesive. And that's what we're going to use. We're going to mix up some of that, and we're going to put it on our panels here and stick them in place just like we showed earlier. So, I'll show you when we are done. Well, now with that flange intact, what we're going to do, I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to stick it on there just like that. And that will refill in the inner wheel well. And then it'll look just good. It'll be just at the right level to glue on the new outer wheel well. So that's how it's going to look. See you in a little bit. Okay, so we're back, and we have cut out a little bit more so we can get clamps on this and all this good stuff. And now we're getting ready to mark out our new parts. So, what we've done is come over here to the new part. You can't see it very good in the glare, but you can see the Sharpie on there where we marked it out. What we did is we took the last piece that we cut out and we laid it on here and used it as the gauge because it has that body line right there. Laid it on there the way that we're right along this body line. And we cut it and marked it. We're going to cut this out. So we'll cut our new piece out of here. and then I'll show test fitting it over there at the truck. So here we go. I obviously can't cut worth a dang, but that's not going to be a problem because it'll be filled in with the flange we're going to glue from here to here. But up here, we're not too bad at all. Nice and snug on this line. This is the way it should look if you weren't as crappy as me at cutting. So, anyway, this will all look perfect when done. So, we'll see you at the next step. Okay, so we're back over here at the make table using the panel we had. I went ahead and cut this out even better along there to make this piece. And then I trimmed that down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that into the back side of here like this. It'll sit right in there, right along that line that you probably can't see on the video. It'll sit right along that line right in there. We'll glue them together, and that way I have my flange on the front side, or on the back there, and it's attached to here. Then when we get over here, and we've been trying to figure out how to clamp on the back side of there and having a hard time, this way we can put the glue on there and then slide it up in there, clamp down along the bottom, clamp it in place here, and then that should pretty well stick back there. And then we'll be able to just reach in and touch it, you know, maybe jam something in there a little bit to help hold it. So that is the plan for this vehicle. So those are the fun things you're going to have to figure out with each vehicle, but it is so much easier than welding. So anyway, we'll be back. Okay, so we just took the clamps off of this piece right here. So it is now in place. And we're going to test fit the outer skin to make sure things are working before we get the flange on it and everything else. So we set this up in here, get it off that plastic down there, get it up in here, and voila! It looks like it fits perfectly. There's a little bit of a gap. I'm going to slide forward here. Go up just a touch, but yeah, it's going to fit perfectly, and it's going to fill that hole. So we put the lip on the bottom, and it'll be good to go. So I will show that here in a little while. Okay, guys, we're back at the shop here, and it's next morning. It snowed a little bit outside. I guess you can't really see that. Got some little advice for you. When it says wear gloves, do you play with it? Wear gloves to play with it. So, yeah, I'm having a hard time getting that off all of my fingers. But anyway, got down here early, and I took the patch panel, and I went ahead and screwed it in place here. What we're going to use, because we can't get to the back side, these screws here are going to hold the panels together so that the adhesive can do its bonding. And then we'll fill the seams with the Bondo fiberglass light. So then prime paint, and this side will be done. So okay, so we're back. It's the next morning. I went ahead and test fitted in there. You can see the screw holes where I put that in, and it fits really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up gluing that back in now. And what the plan is I'm going to glue I shouldn't say glue. I should say bond, but the generic over the counter is glue. So we're going to bond the pieces back together along this surface here and along this all up here. So I'll be using our JB Weld. You can see I use that other tube on the inner part there. We're mixing it up and then putting it on here, screwing it in. And I'll add another screw here, and then probably screw along here to help clamp it together. That way, you can just see how it works when you're doing it at home, because you might not have clamps, just like I don't have the right clamps. So, anyway, here we go. So the first step is going to be mixing up the epoxy. This JB Weld stuff is really nice because you just go like that. And that's not going to be enough, so we're going to add in the other one. Missed the garbage can because I can't throw. I think that might be enough. Stir stick, mix this up. It's just like any other filler. You got to mix it till it's an even color. It's 2-part epoxy. The resin we use is an epoxy. It's polyester, but you know, same concept. You got to get it to an even color. Doesn't take real long. And then start spreading it out on the flanges. And it doesn't take a whole ton. It holds really well. And if you get it on the area that's forming the seam here, no big deal, because we want it to kind of squish up through there anyway. It'll help fill the gap. Get good and covered. And cover that part here. Pay particular attention to the bottom, because that's where it is going to mostly bond. Corner down here. And under here. Never forget the bottom. Down here. Like this. Okay. And as we saw yesterday, we learned not to start to wear gloves. You can still see it on my fingers from yesterday. So then we're going to feed this up in here. So I already put the screws in so that we have marks showing where they go. I'm going to take these off, use the drill. Self-tapping screws, you don't want to crank it down tight, just need it to hold so that it can bond. You got about 15 minutes or so to fiddle with this stuff. done so you can see how easy it really is to do here. You start getting through the metal, slow it down a little bit. It doesn't take much to go through our panels. See? Put one down here. Put this corner in. And then we're going to be filling these holes with the filler, so not a big deal there. So we're just doing enough to hold the panels together for the glue to set up. And maybe one more down over to the corner. Careful where you put your finger in the back. Just got myself. Okay, and I got some on my fingers again, even with staying away from it. And there you go. And that is it for putting it on. We'll let that set up, and we'll take out all the screws and we'll fill the gap, scuff it up, and we'll be ready to prime and paint. Okay, so once the glue is set, we removed all the screws, and then we sanded off the edges to get down to bare metal all the way around here. And it feels nice and smooth all the way around. I love it. Nobody's going to have a clue that anything was different here, just like any other good body work. So the next step is then to use the lightweight body filler, the fiberglass body filler. And what's great about that is it uses a polyester resin which will bond right to this. We know it bonds to the metal because that's what it's for, but it's also this is also polyester resin here, so it'll bond right to it. And then we just fill this whole area in, sand it off, and then use our regular filler, and then prime and paint, just like any other body patch. It's just this stuff will never rust again. Never have to worry about it. So, next step's coming. We'll get to you then. Now here we are. We've put our first layer of fill on. This is the Bondo glass. It's already starting to harden up. So need to sand that off. I got some 40 grit here, getting ready to do that. Once it's good and hard, we'll sand this down, and then we'll fill anything left over like this here with regular polyester Bondo. So that'll finish it up. And then we'll be ready to primer and paint. So see you at the next step. So here it is after final sand. We're getting ready to hit it with some primer now. So we're going to wipe it down, hit it with some primer, and we will be back. Okay, here you go. First prime. Can't tell it's there at all, can you? And from here out, it's just the same as prepping for paint. Wet sand, block, all that good stuff. And then color it and clear it. And that is the whole process for replacing the metal with one of my panels. So give us a holler and we will send you some panels. Catch you later.